2nd of April 2019, Friday. Sergey Baklakov continue my video blog. With a contribution of my patrons, I now started travel more around Russia. Once I've got not too much of contributions, my plan to make a big travel all over Russia is not going to work, at least for now, but it is already enough to start at least making such single from time to time trips, at least in the nearest to St. Petersburg cities. That's how I just came to the railway station of Swedish-Finnish-Russian city of Viborg. It's located in Leningrad region, just in 100 kilometers from St. Petersburg. I came here by suburban kind of high-speed train. The whole trip taking just a little bit more than 1 hour. The new building of the railway station of Wiburg, built in 1953 in a style of so-called provincial Stalin's empire. The old historical building of railway station unfortunately was destroyed in the years of the Second World War. But actually I like how this building looks like, and especially such a tall, huge, weighty wooden doors. The symbol of the city, which looks like W letter. The thing is, originally the city was founded by Sweden, and in Scandinavian manner, the name of the city was written with W instead of V. Now I'm going to the place where from it was founded. I'm talking about the Vyborg Castle. On the way to Vyborg Castle, which is located there, here is a beautiful embankment of Salaka-Lahti. I believe it's something in Finnish, Salaka-Lahti Bay. And here on the way I'm going to show you Hotel Druzhba, Friendship. That's one of the most successful examples of late Soviet Union architecture. Before the hotel here is a little square and the sculpture of octopus. The Friendship Druzhba Hotel, built in the beginning of 1980s. It is only 3 stars. The price, at least in April 2019, $50 per night. But it is actually the most successful location for this city. It's right between the railway station and Vyborg Castle, which is there. I am not sure why they cut the trees here so much. A market square of Wiburg with the building of market itself. You see, that's one with a clock tower built in 1904 in a northern modern style. And here on a market square, I believe even more significant building. This is the round tower, an artillery tower that was built, think about it, in 1550, almost 500 years ago. In time, it's lost its military meaning, turned into arsenal, and now there's the restaurant, which is called Round Tower. Well, I don't really like this plastic doors. However, these wooden doors seem like more original, or at least older. Such an indoor market. Here is just everything, and clothes, and confectionery, and fruits and vegetables. Well, I feel a kind of sharp spirit of the vegetables. Here it is, Vyborg Castle. In front of the castle here is an old town hall on the square. No wonder here is the monument to Torgils Knutson, the founder of the city. And look, in the middle of the buildings there's the clock tower. It used to be the bell tower for a grand cathedral, which is unfortunately destroyed during the Second World War and still never restored. This is a real small island which is now called Castle Islands, because that's where in 1293 the regent of Swedish king Torgils Knutson founded this castle. Later they also built this tower, St. Olaf Tower. Back then, one of the tallest buildings in Scandinavia, 46 meters. And definitely this is the best viewpoint to the city, because look, the castle, it's like a little bit separately from the main parts, residential parts of the city. Most of you knows that Peter the Great, just 100 kilometers from here, he founded St. Petersburg in 1703. And also back in those years there was a long so-called Northern War between Russia and Sweden. And of course, having such a base just 100 kilometers from St. Petersburg, it was considered as a huge threat for, you know, for Peter the Great. And he decided to siege it, and he did that. And since then it is became Russian. Well, there was a period when it were belonging to Finland, but it's important to notice that in the moment when it was not independent, it was a great duchy of Finland, when it was a part of Russian Empire. And finally, like completely Russian, it has became after the Second World War in 1940s. And you know, nowadays this is the only Western European medieval castle which is not only safe but in a good shape. You see, they restore it all the time, taking care of it. To hang out on a territory of the castle, you may for free, but go inside to the museum and the tower. I've paid for all access tickets 500 rubles, which is $8. Here is 3 floors of the museum, which is dedicated to the history of the city of Viborg. It is separated by three periods: Swedish, Finnish, and Russian. I'm inside of the tower. It's pretty impressive. Look at this, I told you! There is no better point to look at the historical city center of Viborg. Wow! Because look, I told you that, you know, the castle here on the Castle Islands and the main residential parts of the city is like separately.
На Исаакиевске я тоже застряла посередине, мне Жанна такая: иди! Там толпа уже собралась.
Делать нечего, лишь в источной воде. Мы стараемся еще, надо как-то ходить. Как-то не надо сказать.
Может быть, и нет такой статистики.
After the race to St. Olaf Tower, it's time to recover the power to get some meal. And you know what you have to try when you will be in Viborg? That's of course the famous Vyborg Krendel pretzel. Yet in the 15th century, the Franciscan monks who lived here started to bake the pretzels by their secret recipe, and Viborg even became known as the Кrendelny город, a pretzel city. And even after Peter the Great came here, the pretzels never lost its popularity. It was always on the emperor's table, and even Alexander III, who was born just in 1845, way after the monks started first to bake the pretzels, he every day asks to deliver him 6 pretzels. A Viborg pretzel. The monks were making this in a form of crossed hands of praying person, like they thanking the gods for the bread. Okay, I'm gonna get one now, just for 100 rubles, which is less than $2, and coffee latte. Well, in overall, I will pay now just $4. What is the pretzel consisted of? Here is just a flour, salt, sugar, yeast, and water. The bird's asking me for pretzel. Hey. Whoa! Have you seen that? Okay, let's try again while motherfucker's not here. No way. Maybe just one more time? No way. Continue walking Viborg. You know, I don't really like the hills, but living already for a whole year in absolutely flat St. Petersburg, which is built on a former swamps, now these little hills on such a cobblestone streets seems prettier. pretty great for me. Yeah. Now that's an old cathedral I told you about, next to the clock tower and almost behind the old town hall. It was built in stone in 15th century, served for Orthodox, Catholics and Lutherans. Many times it was damaged, let's say with the fires, but the last time it was damaged most of all, like this, during the Second World War, and still staying in ruins for already more than 70 years. And that's a kind of shame because, you know, this is the very center of the city hero of Viborg. However, look, that's clock tower. It used to be the bell tower for this cathedral, and recently it is completely restored. And I believe that sooner or later, but this cathedral have to be restored too. One of the oldest buildings in Viborg, it's Купеческая гильдия, like a merchant's chamber, community, built in 16th century. Now pretty well restored. Being located on the shore of the Gulf of Finland here in Viborg, a seaport, it is called Port Viborg, and that's one of the biggest industries in the city. And that's the Cathedral Square. This is Спасо-Преображенский Cathedral, Transfiguration Cathedral. That's how it is translated, Спасо-Преображенский, Transfiguration Cathedral. And you know, if you live in St. Petersburg at least for a year, you don't even need to learn an information about this place that to understand. This is already definitely the Peter's place, like Peter the First place, typical St. Petersburg architecture of 18th century. St. Peter and Paul Cathedral. It's not as nice as Peter and Paul Cathedral in Peter and Paul Fortress in St. Petersburg. It is built in 1793. Peter the Great already was dead back in those days. But as we can see, his love to this kind of architecture kept living. Next to Peter and Paul Cathedral, here is the monument to the tram and the restaurant now. Yes, in Viborg here was the tram, but unfortunately in 1950s it was demolished because they have found it as non-profitable. Well, in planned socialist economy, they could keep it running this anyway, just because it's cool. I hope that one day they will return the tram too. It's now the trend, you know, when many cities in the world who before removed the tram, now getting back to this. The world becomes more and more pedestrian friendly, and that's good, I think. Now this is Lenin Prospect, Avenue of Lenin. It's considered like the biggest, or the main streets, parade streets of this city. I've noticed even by day, Viborg is definitely a quiet, relaxed city. in many intersection, even on the streets that is called prospects, like let's say this one, here is no traffic lights, just zebras, you know, that white stripes where the pedestrians have the priority. As soon as you step on the zebra, the cars have to stop, and it's enough, really enough. Look, I go, and that Land Cruiser stopped. And these guys too. I have filmed the whole day today, but now my time is up because the sun goes down and it makes no sense to keep filming in a lower light. But a good reason to get back, I believe, already in the nearest time, because even though I think I have filmed a lot of stuff just for one day today, however, a lot of things that I haven't covered yet. For example, the oldest residential house, yes, it is located here in the historical city center of Viborg, or one of the best libraries in Russia. Yes, it is also here in Viborg, and some other stuff. Thanks so much to all patrons who contributed me for this trip. I've got the gifts for all of you guys. I will contact you. Stay tuned, keep watching, comment, like and subscribe. See you.